Hello and welcome to the podcast Life Without Limits. And this is the podcast where we talk to interesting people who have been through tough times and come out the other side to achieve great things. So I've got a great guest for you today. She's a strong woman who's been through one hell of a time. Her name's Georgia Carmichael, and she's a GB power rower, and she can tell us a little bit about her story now. Hi Georgia, how are you?
Hi, yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks. So tell us a little bit about you and your story. Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah, so I've been a GB right since I was 13. And then I went on to win world championships at 15 and was a full-time athlete, loved every moment. And then started getting health issues when I was 15, faced a brain injury, which led to numerous ICU admissions following that in the years, but kept doing my sport. And then, unfortunately, in 2021, I was in a whitewater kayak accident, which led to a polytrauma, so multiple traumas. So I had a brain injury and a spinal injury. And then I got involved in adaptive CrossFit. I went back to rowing as a para athlete and was selected for the GB team in January last year. And then, unfortunately, not long after in April, I became very unwell and suffered a spinal stroke at C4, C5, so my neck. And then I was diagnosed with a condition called MELAS, which is a mitochondrial condition that has no cure or no treatment. It's very rare. And this kind of answered the problems I've been having for 6 years that no one could get down to the bottom of. Um, but yeah, unfortunately, it is labelled as a terminal illness because there's nothing they can do to stop the progression. But I'm home after 7 months of hospital, and I'm ready to prove them wrong and get on with life and back to sport, especially power rowing, wheelchair rugby, and back to CrossFit.
So that is a lot in just one year.
Yes, yeah,
So
it's been a bit of a crazy year.
let's start from the beginning. So you got into power rowing when you were 13. So before 13, didn't have a disability.
No, so I was doing Olympic rowing at 13 and then got into Paralympic rowing at 19. So up until 19, I was in the Olympic category. And then after the kayak accident, I was in the Paralympic category because of the spinal injury.
So after that injury, did you lose use of the lower half of your body?
Yeah, so I was T2. So I was kind of paralyzed waist down, but I was incomplete. So I had some movement in my right leg, but very minimal.
So that's pretty impressive how you've gone from Olympic level, and then instead of just going, poor me, I can't do anything anymore, you're going straight away, I'm going to the Paralympics.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was my dream to go to the Olympics since I was 10, and I didn't want to let go of that dream. It got me through many, many months in hospital, so I wasn't ready to give up on that dream.
That's really impressive. And then you got into adaptive CrossFit that's where I met you. So I met you at the competition, the Battle for Middle Ground, last February, and
Yeah.
yeah, so I remember watching you lift those weights. So you're in your wheelchair, smashing these weights. And then literally a few days after, there's a picture of you in a hospital bed, like wired up to all these wires, and it's like, what's happened here?
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I was doing really, really well. I was kind of moving on with life, got home from hospital and yeah, got into adaptive CrossFit and loved it. I loved how empowering it was lifting a weight above my head in a wheelchair. And I just thought the whole community of it was incredible. But yeah, after that competition, it wasn't long after that I got really poorly at home, went to hospital. That's where they found I had a spinal stroke, so I became paralysed from the shoulders down. And then obviously the investigation into what was really going on began. So I was moved to London and went through lots of tests, spent a lot of time in ICU, and was really quite poorly for quite some time.
Yeah, because you was nearly straight after that competition, you was in hospital for the best part of the year, a long, long
Yeah,
time.
so I left hospital just under 2 months ago now, so not even too long. So I
Yeah.
got home for Christmas, thank God. But yeah, I left end of November and came home.
And I saw you've posted videos already of you doing boxing and things like that, getting straight back into your sport.
Oh yeah, I mean everyone said easy, rest when you come home, give it time. No, I was back in the gym. I needed to. I'd missed it and dreamt of going back in the gym, and yeah, I've been doing some boxing and stuff. So I still have so I've been much C5 complete. So I have use of my lats, bicep kind of partial at the moment, but getting there, getting stronger, and shoulders, so like traps and everything very strong. But below that, like triceps, I don't have. So we're working on that of ways to get around it, how to use the movement I have now in going forwards and gaining independence. But for me, being back in the gym was what I needed. But I thrive in that kind of environment, and I like to push
So,
myself.
so do you really, because of the spinal stroke, do you really struggle with use from shoulders down now then?
Yes, I have complete paralysis. Apart from the muscles I just said, they're there, but I have no sensation below C5, so it's kind of like yeah, shoulders, just below your shoulders down. And I have, yeah, no movement, so no core, no nothing in my legs, and yeah, no tricep, and not much hand function.
And is breathing a problem? Because obviously that's muscles in the core and the abdomen.
Yeah, so my diaphragm did get affected, so even now it is like I can't cough properly, because it doesn't have the strength to, so I have treatments for that. But it has been, it's, I have to make sure I do breathing exercises to build it back up. But I do have kind of 40% less lung function because of the paralysis.
That's really kind of, it's tough. So how are you kind of, how's life now, or how are you getting around it? Do you have to have lots of physio and appointments?
Yeah, so since coming home, I wanted to get stuck back in right away. And yeah, I've been going to the gym, which is good. And then, yeah, lots of physio. So a few days a week, I do rehabilitation and some at home, some in places, but also just every day I'm trying to do little tasks on my own and make sure like, I'm working on things like especially with dexterity. Like building Lego has become a therapy. So that's quite entertaining, very frustrating when I drop it all, but we're getting there. But there's just little things, like trying to do things every day that increase my independence and really push myself.
Mm. And will movement come back again?
So being marked as a complete injury, no, they're saying it's not going to. Basically, with a spinal injury, you have incomplete or complete. So incomplete is where you still have some sensation and movement below your injury level, and there's a whole way they assess it. Whereas complete is where there's no sensation and no movement below your injury level. So being a complete, the chances I've been told are pretty much impossible. But I think, why not put
Nothing's
everything into it and
impossible. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, and see what I can do, see how far I can get. I know
Mm.
that my life most likely will be in a wheelchair, but it might be different from what I imagine, but it's far from over.
Mm.
And yeah, I've got all
I
these skills.
find doctors are so quick to say, "Oh, you'll never do this again. You'll never do that again." But
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
up
I
to
was
you.
told that many times in hospital. So originally I had no movement from the neck down at all, and was fed tube fed and stuff like that, and um, because MELAS, the condition I have, causes these strokes. So they basically said, you're going to keep having these, and this is terminal. You are going to die from this. And I got put under the palliative care team. And we were kind of told, the only way you're going to go home is if you stop treatment, and if you kind of do all these things, and if you're basically going to go home to die. And I was just like, no, I'm 21. This condition is so rare that you don't know enough about it to tell me what's going to happen.
Mm.
And although it was incredibly hard to hear, part of me was relieved we had a diagnosis for the past 6 years and all these medical issues. But at the same time, there's no way to fix it. But as I said, it being so rare, who knows what can happen? And for me, going back to sport and everything, and having that sport before put my body in a lot better position to be facing this.
And there's part of you that just wants to prove those doctors wrong now, I guess.
Oh yeah, I get great enjoyment out of that. I mean, we were told, she might not survive, and then when I had the spinal injury originally in the accident, we were told, you're not going to do this, you're not going to do that, and I went on to do it. And I remember when I went back to the doctors for an appointment, and I'd be doing this thing, and their faces, it just made it all so worth it.
Yeah, I love that, because for me, when I was told you'll never be very active again, I was like, I have to prove you wrong.
Yeah,
And
exactly. It kind of lights a bit of a fire inside of you. And I don't know
it
about you, but I'm
does.
very stubborn. So I was like, right, this is my challenge now.
That's it. And I look forward to seeing you maybe getting back into CrossFit again. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal. I love it. And as I said, the community is amazing. And that competition, I loved every minute of it. So I do
Yeah,
plan on getting back into it.
it's getting bigger and bigger and better. So
It
good things to
is.
come. So on to my next question. What would you say is your biggest, proudest achievement? You can have more than one.
Um, for me, it was definitely when I was 16. I'd won the World Championships when I was 15, and then had this brain injury in this episode, which we now know is the first episode of Melas, where I spent 11 months in hospital. And when I came out of hospital at 16, I went on to go back to the World Championships and come away with 2 silvers. I think for me that was a huge achievement, from missing out on so much training and being told all these things that I'd never do my sport, and then going back and being back on that start line and coming away with 2 silvers. Definitely one.
Yeah.
The other was probably this year, coming home, last year now, but coming home after everything I faced in the past year was crazy. And the ICU admissions, many of them. But yeah, coming home, being back with my family, and finding ways to live again, and not letting it kind of stop me or define me, and not letting this kind of,
Especially after 7 months as well.
yeah, and not letting this label that I'm terminally ill kind of almost stop me from wanting to pursue
It's like
things or make
that's
these goals.
that's like telling you like you're finished, and you have to like, no, I'm not.
Exactly. And I think that's it. Yeah, they don't know enough, and who knows what to come with medical, advancements, and they might find something that will help. And although I'm still in and out of hospital with it, and many appointments, and a simple infection for me can turn life threatening very, very quickly. But at the same time, every day I can do things, and some days I have to take it easier. Some days I'll go all at it in the gym and knock myself out for a bit. But I'm really getting back into life again, which is amazing, and all I wanted to do.
Yeah, you just got to live life to the full now, and just you got nothing to lose now. You just got to push yourself and see what you can really achieve now. You've got nothing to lose.
Exactly.
Just go
Exactly.
for it. So was it pretty emotional coming back home from hospital?
Yeah,
Coming back
I
home.
yeah, I came out. We've got a wheelchair accessible van. I came out of the van, and lots of my family and friends were there, and it kind of hit me like, wow, I've made it home. And yeah, my mum and I both cried, and it was very emotional. And I think reality did hit me as well, because in the hospital you're surrounded by other people who are sick and in bed, and no one's really living their best life in hospital. And you come out into the real world, and you're like, wow, I can't do this and I can't do that, and things do hit. And home wasn't home at the beginning. I had to get used to the care, and losing my independence. But slowly I'm trying to learn ways to have that control back, and the ways around it. And it's a big learning lesson, really. And it's still a huge adjustment 2 months down the line, but each day gets a little bit easier.
Amazing. So on to my next question. What have been some of the biggest obstacles you have faced? We probably mentioned some of them, but what's some of the biggest you have faced, and how have you overcome them?
I think for me, having all these health setbacks from 15 was a lot, especially during training and being a full-time athlete. But I guess the biggest ones were, yeah, the accident, and then last year. I think overcoming them was the drive inside of me. Like, I have a drive for life. I want to live, and nothing will stop me from that. Yes, I have my dark days, but at the same time, I've got this amazing people around me who will pick me back and keep on cheering me on. And I think as well, yeah, just the athlete mindset of, I want to achieve something and I will stick to it and put everything into it. And the dream that 10-year-old had, that May had at 10, to go to the Olympics, I kind of sometimes look back to that girl who got off the water and went straight to my parents. First time I was in a rowing boat, I was like, I'm going to the Olympics. I was adamant about it. And sometimes I think to that, that 10-year-old had that dream, and I still do. And I still want to work with everything I've got to keep on overcoming these obstacles.
So, do you want to get back into power rowing and then get straight back
Yeah,
in the water?
100%. I miss it. And we've done a couple of sessions where we've done like 2 sessions of the ergo. It's a little bit different now with my level of injury. But when there's a will, there's a way. There will be a way to do it. We're trying to figure it out. And actually next week we're gonna have a good try. But I mean, British rowing have been so supportive, which has been lovely. But obviously, yeah, CrossFit, and I'm getting into wheelchair rugby, which is exciting. Looks very aggressive, but looks fun. I love a bit of adrenaline. So yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, just ways to stay active is really important for me mentally and physically, because the more I can improve physically will help me so much.
yeah. Wheelchair rugby is literally called murder ball.
Oh yeah, I mean, I watched it last night. I went to
Like
watch some
bumper cars
training.
in
Yeah,
wheelchairs.
I was meant to watch some training, and when they crash each other, it sounds awful. Like, and then
Yes.
flipping over and everything. And I was like,
Yeah.
I was just sat there like, this is a bit of me. And my mum next to me was like, sure you don't want to like try knitting or something? I was
Do you
like,
know about
no, no,
rowing?
no. Yeah, she's
Ah,
like, maybe
that's
somewhere like,
amazing.
calm, but no. It's really exciting. It's a great sport for some are tetraplegic, meaning all four limbs are affected, and it is a sport for tetraplegics. So everyone there has four limbs affected. So it was quite nice meeting other people in a similar situation as well.
Yeah. You need to do some videos of you doing these things. So I'd love to watch you do
Uh,
it.
yeah, I will. I mean, I'm hoping, yeah, in 2 weeks I'm gonna go and try one of the wheelchairs and get into it. So we'll see. I'm
Wicked.
sure I'll video that. I'm sure I'll video me falling out of it at some point too. But yeah,
Get
no,
crashed over.
100%. Yeah, I'm sure I'll be enjoying that part though.
That's what I love though. When you do adaptive CrossFit, the mindset and mentality that you're talking about, every single person has it. And just to watch all disabilities go out there and lift these weights, and everyone has this amazing backstory that they've been through hard times and now look where they are. It's a wicked feeling
Exactly.
of, like, you can't
Yeah.
explain it.
It is. It's the atmosphere, and everyone's cheering everyone on, and I think that's really nice. Once you
Yeah,
finish, you go and cheer on someone else, and it's a really supportive community.
yeah. And it's about sharing that kind of fire inside you to kind of inspire others to do it as well.
Exactly, exactly.
So that brings me on to the next question. What would you say to somebody that feels they are unable to reach their full ability because of their disability?
I think it's hard having a disability, especially around people who can do all these things with ease and stuff, and we face our obstacles and challenges. But the thing is, like as I said earlier, although your life may be different, it's not over, and there's so many things out there like adaptive CrossFit that can really help you mentally, physically, meeting other people, and it's just trying to find what works for you. And it can take time. I mean, I'm early days of being a tetraplegic, and I still have my daily struggles, my daily breakdowns. But then, I get online and I have a look. I'm like, okay, cool. I can go and do this skiing. Although it's not how I used to do it, it's still a way to do something I enjoy. And I think there is always a way around something. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of extra work to find, but there will always be a way.
Mm, that's a good message. So, like, people always try and say to you, you can't do this anymore, you can't do that anymore, but everything's doable. You just have to do it in a different way.
Exactly. And it takes some research, yeah, to find things or reaching out to someone. But there is always a way. I'm a huge adrenaline junkie and I love surfing. And I've looked and found a charity that take people surfing with disabilities. And, as I said, skiing and there's mountain biking, there's all these things I can still do with my level of function, which is a very low level of function. So it's pretty motivating. And even meeting people at rehab who are doing those crazy things, I'm like, wow, I want to do that. And hence the wheelchair rugby. So
What's on your to-do list with adrenaline junkie wise? Would you ever do a parachute jump out of a plane?
oh hell yeah, that's I've got skydiving written up
Oh,
there.
yeah, be
So
epic.
yeah, I definitely want to do that. I really want to go off road, like off terrain. There's some specialist wheelchairs out there, so I want to have a go in one of them.
Yeah.
Skiing, skiing abroad is a big one. I'd love to do that. and wakeboarding. Even found a charity not far from me actually who do wakeboarding. So
Wow.
yeah, I've been making a long list of crazy things I want to do. There's even a shark dive on there, which is part of the Spinal Injury Association. They do these shark dives in this tank in the UK. It's quite a big tank. I mean, some of the sharks are 10 foot, no great whites, of course, but
You got a video
there's.
and document all this as well.
Oh, I will. I mean, I'm pretty sure that'd be quite fun.
You should
Just
be like,
swimming around with some sharks.
doctors told me my life was over, but I've done
Now I
this.
am swimming with sharks. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll send them. I'll send the
yeah.
doctors a video of that. Yeah, I love it.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. I like to, have these goals and focus on them, and that's what keeps me motivated. As a, growing up with sport, you're always kind of aiming for something. And I think in hospital I struggled when I didn't have that. So now I'm out, I'm like, right, what can I aim for? No matter how crazy it is, I might as well aim for it.
And it's like what you said earlier, just there. You found charities that could help you do things. So if anyone's struggling to find things to do or find something they want to do, there are so many charities out there that you just never
Yeah.
heard of that are doing amazing things.
Exactly. You have to do some research sometimes or know someone who knows someone. But having looked into so many things, like anything you want is basically covered.
Mm,
It just takes a bit of work to find them sometimes, especially like the
yes.
smaller ones. But I mean, they do amazing work.
Yeah, there's something out there for everyone. It
Exactly.
is a life without limits. Just go out there and live your life
Exactly.
to the
Yeah, I agree.
max. So
What's close?
if people wanted to connect with you, how can they find you? If they want to watch your videos of you doing crazy things, how can they
Um,
find you?
I mean my Instagram where I can be awful at posting, but it's just Georgia Carmichael, and I try and document a bit of, especially once the crazy stuff begins, I'll be documenting all that. Especially the shark dive, me petting a shark, great.
Yeah, just don't use your hand.
I don't imagine. So I went on a shark dive, but I don't have a hand anymore. No,
Yeah, so
I've
you
been
be like,
told they don't eat
I
people.
survived this, I survived that, but I lost my hand from a shark.
Yeah, after everything. Oh gosh, no. Knowing my luck as well, though.
Yeah, be careful with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking forward to seeing what things come up for you this year. I want to see you smashing it even more, and hopefully I can see you back out on that CrossFit floor and doing workouts together again.
I'll be there. Don't you worry, I'll be there.
It's been great to talk to you, Georgia. I'll see you soon.
You too. Thank you so much.
See ya. Bye.